Hey up folks, I'm Guy Kestevan the Tester Man, and welcome to part 2 of my Carbon Wasp custom truffle build-up. So, first part, we got the cockpit on, we got the Cane Creek helm forks on to match the Cane Creek rear shock, we got the Hope carbon cranks on, and we got the Hope XCR brakes on. And we already had the seat post in just to hold it in the stand. So, in this episode, time for the wheels. Time to get the gears on, and then, yeah, just the finishing kit, and see if we can get it ready for pre-ride at the Ardmore's Enduro tomorrow. Yeah, no, we've still got an hour and a half left before it's tomorrow, so we'll see how we get on anyway. Right, so first things first. I think you'll have noticed on the build, part 1 of the build, that we've got a SRAM axis controller on the bars. Oh, by the way, if you haven't watched that, you know, do the sensible thing and go and watch that first, so you've got a full story. And if you wonder why I'm standing here in an old lady's nylon dressing gown and why the bike has a matching wrap on it, you know, make sure you go and watch the full custom Carbon Wasp intro as well, and then you'll get the full backstory on this bike. So that little plug goes in there. You going in? Can be a bit awkward, these. Come on. I had this with another bike builder did the other day. There we go. There. Just in case of getting it lined up. That's just a little nylon holder, because obviously this latest generation of SRAM mech just bolt straight on, like so. But there's it's kind of a preloading dance that you need to do with it. I've not done that right, have I? Go on, Kestevan, put the right bolt in. I've used the one out of the OG hanger. So that goes in there. Come on. Yeah, if you're looking for a how to fit a SRAM axis rear mech video, this isn't it. In fact, I'm going to watch it now to make sure I get the setup correct. But as you can see, it's GX on here, the workhorse, I would say, of the SRAM axis Eagle range. Did I say Explorer before? That's the gravel group. But yeah, it's GX. But to be honest, I like GX because it's actually kind of the most evolved in terms of having the battery hidden up there on the top, not hanging out the back. So, right, I need to get it into the setup position, don't I? So I think you half open it, don't you? Anyway, I'll watch the video and then we'll do it properly. That's probably the best thing to do, innit? Because we don't want it getting knackered before we've even started. So, right, back in a minute. So, the mech is now in place. Switch the switch key around. You do all this in the SRAM app. It tells you what position you put in your chainring size, and you put in the chainstay length, you put in the type of bike. I mean, unsurprisingly, Carbon Wasp, being a very small UK manufacturer, don't have their frame listed in there, but you just need to say it's full suspension, 440mm chainstays, 32 tooth ring, and then it'll tell you the chain length, and it'll tell you what position that little shift button needs to be on the little setup button needs to be on the back there. So now it's time to put the wheels in and then the chain on. So say hello to the Mavic Cross Trail SL wheels. Carbon rim, 30mm internal, under 1700 grams, all the usual Mavic hub goodness, Infinity hub with QRM bearings, quite a chunky free hub on there, not an instant reaction, but you know, 24 bladed spokes, both ends, and it's e-bike rated as well. So although it's a midweight wheel, it should be plenty tough enough. So although it's only a midweight wheel, it's plenty tough enough, should be, for this bike. And I've actually done a full video. If you've not seen it yet, there's a full Mavic Cross Trail SL and Cross Max SLS intro video. So if you want to know more about those wheels, then make sure you watch those. And we also have new rubber. Terravale have sent me a box of tyres, and so I've gone with the Draw Point 29 2.4. Sort of faster XC trail tyre, decent weight actually. This is the durable one, so the heavier duty casing, and this comes in at 790 grams in a 29 by 2.4. It's the grip compound. Feels pretty good actually. Chat to the guys from Terravale at the Core Bike Show, and it's a whole new range for them. So new compounds all the way through as well, and some slight changes in carcass too. So some good stuff, hopefully. You don't see Terravale much over in this country, but maybe these are the tyres that are going to get them breaking into the UK scene in a bigger way. And always love a tan wall. And then on the front, it's a Draw Point again, but I've gone for the light trail with the grip compound. So that's the slightly lighter carcass. So that's a 40 gram lighter tyre, and obviously matching front cross trail SL wheel as well. So let's get them installed. And again, there's you need to have the rear mech in the right setup position. It actually tells you which cog you need to have it in. Again, that's all in the SRAM app. Oh. Unfortunately, as you'll see, I've got SRAM rotors on. Not that there's anything wrong with SRAM rotors, it's just I had got purple, because these brakes, if you recognise them, they've come off the Squatch, the stiff Squatch build. I borrowed the brakes off there for a minute until I get some alternatives. But unfortunately, these wheels are 6-bolt. I mean, they do come in a centre lock option, but these are 6-bolt. So I've just put SRAM's HS2 rotors in there, which are a little bit thicker than the rotors I was using in these XCR calipers before. So there'll be a bit of rub until I get them set up properly, but we'll do that in a minute. The main thing is just to get the chain on here. So that should be in the right setup cog. We'll just move it. You have to move it into the right setup cog. So just move that across, and I'll consult the app. There's a specific. You have to bolt it in, and then like take it half a turn off. And I'm never quite sure exactly how you do that. So I'm going back to the app. If in doubt, read the instructions. And you won't hear me say that often, but in this case, I'm going to. That's it. I knew it was something slightly counterintuitive. You bolt it on. You bolt the rear mech on, and then you give it a full turn, loosen, to get it ready in position. And now I need to feed the chain through. So already cut the chain to length. So just roll this in from the front, make sure it's on the setup cog. Again, that's something that it says in the app, and remembering that these are actually toothed on the cassette as well. So you have narrow, wide teeth on the cassette and on the jockey wheels there. Right, now I'll go and get my magic link. And obviously, as it's a sort of purpley bike, we need a little purpley link in there, don't we? So, pop that in there. Yeah, feed them through. This is the joy of getting a camera involved in any workshop stuff. It always makes it more awkward. Pop the pliers in. We locked? Didn't seem like it clunked. There we go. That's better. I think we all heard that. And then, hopefully, when we pull that back, apart from the fact the brake's rubbing, that should all be hunky-dory now. Let's get the front wheel in, and this is looking a lot more like a bike. And one little idiosyncrasy with this helm fork is they use what they call a D-lock axle, which actually, it's still 15mm, but it actually has two flat facets on it. And they reckon that makes it stiffer once it's in the bike. So we shall see when we ride it. Again, bit of a squeeze on that. And then get that D-lock flat up the top there. Does mean a bit more jiggling about to get it home. There we go. And then it just does up normally. I have to say one thing about these concrete forks, all the little detailing on it, really, really nicely machined. It's a really nicely put together fork. So hopefully it'll perform in a really nicely put together way on the trail. And then the final component to go on is this STG Bel Air V3 Overland, which is the kind of lighter XC Trail version of this saddle with that cutout in the middle. And I've just found it a really, really comfy saddle. First put it on the Stigmata gravel bike just because it was the right colour. But actually, absolutely love the shape of it. It's got a nice bit of squish in it, but without being too soggy. And on this bike, you'll be able to see it. You've got not only that sort of mother of pearl base under there, but you've also got those oily sort of purple anodized rails to match with the rest of the purple anodizing on it. So now it's just a case of getting the bars straight, tightening everything up, and getting that rear brake blade where it's had to come through the frame. So there we go, fully built, bled, sagged, pedals on. I think we're ready. I think it looks absolutely lush. Actually, it doesn't look as crazy. Maybe I'm just used to this wrap, and obviously I've got an affinity with that pattern anyway, but I think it actually looks pretty slick. I don't think it just looks like a joke with that on. I think it looks really, really tidy. And complete weight, just a hair over 13 kilos without pedals on. So, not the lightest for a 120, 130mm bike, but if you remember from the first build video, that is a heavy fork on there, and it's got an axis post in there, which isn't light, so 2.1 kilo fork. Axis post adds a couple of 100 grams, so, you could easily pull a couple of pounds out of this bike. Unfortunately, the ring light went off a minute ago, because I think it's trying to tell me it's time for bed. It's actually gone 1 in the morning now, and I need to be up about 5:30 to get prepped to head up to Ardrock. It is ready to ride, although, to be honest, I'm not sure. I'm not sure I'm going to ride it at Ardrock, purely because the news from the hill is it's pretty filthy, pretty slippery, and I just think kind of going into, I don't know, I'll see when I get there. I'll take the Trek as well, because the Trek's ready to roll, and just see what the kind of vibe is on the ground. And because it'd be a shame to get this absolutely filthy on its first ride in conditions where I couldn't really get a feel for it and do you a decent first ride video if it's just a complete slip and slide. I'll just concentrate on doing something daft on the top fuel, because obviously these are very comparable bikes, but interestingly, although it's fully handmade in Yorkshire, the Truffle frame is actually, I think it's about almost £1,000 cheaper than that Trek top fuel frame. So, really competitive package, and, no issues with the build putting it together. I put a bit of padding in the down tube because it hasn't got any cable piping in there, so there's a bit of padding in there, hopefully keep it quiet. But apart from that, the whole bike's gone together really neatly. We saw in video 1 that the pivots are all smooth and everything like that. Alignments are spot on. The T-type mech and the full mount went on nice and cleanly. So, yeah, fingers crossed. It's a dry and sunny morning tomorrow, and I actually get some miles in straight away because I'm really, really excited to ride it. Because it just looks, I'm calling it. I think this looks sick. So let me know what you think of the build. Let me know what you think of the distinctive aesthetics. And if I did bump into any of you at Ardmore's, whether I was just wheeling it around afterwards to trigger people or whether I actually rode it, then it was great to meet you. But for now, if you could subscribe, if you haven't already, click for notifications, give this a thumbs up like. And if you really like what I'm doing with this channel and you want to make it successful enough that I don't have to do it in the middle of the night, I can sack off some of my other work that I have to do to keep the lights on in here, then if you could join me on Patreon, that would be fantastic. But for now, I've been Guy Kestevan on GuyKest TV, completing the build on my Gran-tastic Carbon Wasp Truffle 120.